Fred, welcome to our first conversation from YouTube on Web3 topics.
Thank you, Jonathan. Pleasure to sit down and discuss NFTs today, right?
Absolutely. So let's go right into it because we want to keep this short and focused. Tell me, what is an NFT from your point of view?
Sure. Well, whenever I discuss any topic, I like to go first to the black and white definitions and then take it from there. And let's just start with Merriam-Webster, my go-to dictionary. An NFT is, well, first of all, for those folks who don't know what NFT stands for, let's get that out of the way. It's a non-fungible token. That's what NFT stands for. And Merriam-Webster defines an NFT as a unique digital identifier that cannot be copied, substituted, or subdivided, that is recorded in a blockchain. And this is a key aspect of the definition, right? Because there are many digital assets out there, but this is an important part of what defines an NFT and also part of what links it to the broader Web3 conversation. So recorded in a blockchain, and that is used to certify authenticity and ownership. Okay, so that's the dictionary definition. Key thing, it's a digital asset. This is important to keep in mind because a lot of the news stories that are out there about NFTs really place a lot of the focus on the artwork sometimes that is associated with the NFTs, but that's not the NFT. The NFT mechanism can be used to tokenize, hence the non-fungible token aspect of it, a variety of things. They can be digital artwork, but they could potentially be real artwork, to give you an example. And then also important to stress the unique character of NFTs, and going beyond the dictionary definition and kind of going into a more editorial tone. One of the themes that surrounds NFTs and the conversations about them is how, in a way, and this is just one point of view, there are others that have other points of view, but one of the things about NFTs is that they seek to create this concept of uniqueness in a world that is not generally characterized by uniqueness. So, for example, you take any meme, you take a tweet, you take any of these digital assets, if you will, digital representations. They're not unique, right? I mean, going back to the days of Napster, you put a song into MP3 format, and you can share that with the whole world. So what NFTs are doing, according to some folks, and I find this compelling, I find this convincing, is trying to create that sense of uniqueness, being able to package certain digital goods in a way that make them unique and hence make them more attractive, right? So there is very closely linked to the whole idea of NFTs, this economic function. And so there you go. Let's maybe we can stop there, having presented that general definition. But one thing before we continue, and this is going to be relevant to everything else we'll talk about today, an NFT does not grant by itself ownership over the subject of the NFT. So taking the most common example, or perhaps the most popular example of NFTs, that digital artwork of whether it's the bored ape, or whether it's a pixelized picture of someone, or that first tweet ever sent out, the NFT by itself is not going to give ownership over that underlying asset. The ownership at stake is over that particular digital asset that demonstrates the uniqueness of that asset. And I know that was a bit complex, and there is a lot of complexity in all this. It's inevitable, but maybe we can try to tease this out a little bit more as we keep talking.
Right. So let me see if I can dumb it down a bit for the non-IP lawyers in the room. and I deal with a lot of IP because I deal with companies that have assets when we're packaging companies together, the assets for sale. And when I think about it, this definition of a digital asset is very good, right? I mean, if you're a finance person or accounting person, when you're looking at the balance of assets in a company, where is the value derived from? You are looking at tangible assets and intangible assets, and that's two. All of the assets fit into one of those two buckets. And so for me, when I think about it, as I was blogging about this yesterday, trying to understand NFTs even better and try to explain it better especially for our cannabis audience, I like being able to break it down into, okay, is it tangible or intangible asset first? Second, we're talking intangible asset, and then exactly what are the rights that go along with that asset? Like you said, do you own the primary rights? Can you license to others, or are you a recipient of the license for that asset?
Yeah, exactly. And one thing to point out, and we alluded to this, but just to stress for our audience the fact that NFTs are about more than these digital artworks that we are seeing. One commentator that I recently heard, and then again, I find this this structuring to be useful, said that in general terms, there's two kinds of NFTs. There are the ones that will provide that are connected to a digital good. So you're talking about things like memes. You're talking about artwork created digitally, and then there's a second category that is concerned with rights. And this is where, for example, the purchase of an NFT might give you, in addition to, let's say, that image, that meme, it might also give you rights in the real world. So, for example, let's say in the music industry, you could offer an NFT that gives you preferential access to concerts or to one-on-one sessions with your favorite artist. So it's important to point that out, that this is not a monochrome where NFTs are only about buying these arguably works of art. There's other applications that can be applied. Well, there are other applications for NFTs as well.
At the risk of sounding too much like a lawyer, I'd say the fine print or the terms and conditions are really where it comes down to this, right? We use this header term NFT, and it can mean a lot of different things depending on how it's used, just like any intellectual property right can, right? I'm selling you something. Okay, great. I understand that I'm getting this, but really tell me everything about it. And so I think it comes down to understanding exactly what is available. And then does the rights that you're getting with that NFT actually match up with the value you're willing to pay?